You are about to enter a world of dreamscapes and nightmares. A world where the surreal is real, and you will encounter things humanity was never meant to know. Prepare to have your fragile illusions of reality shattered as you cross over into the nightmare realm.
The accident on Route 13. It's still hard to believe what happened. This is not how I thought my night was going to end. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start at the beginning. My name is Dennis Barnes, and I was on my way to the most important dinner of my life when everything just went wrong. I was driving down Route 13 around 9 o'clock. There wasn't much traffic, and I hadn't seen another car in about 10 minutes. I'll admit, I was distracted. I was running late to dinner with my girlfriend Alice. I was going to ask her to marry me, and was nervously rubbing the ring as I drove. My hands were a bit sweaty, and I lost my grip on the ring. I looked down to see where it fell, and then I heard the truck's horn. I looked up, and all I could see was the truck's headlights in front of me as we were about to collide. After that, things get a little spotty. I remember cutting the wheel. I remember going off the road and hitting a tree. Then I think I must have been thrown from the car, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up lying on the ground, several feet from the car. I felt numb. I guess it must be adrenaline or shock. I was disoriented and felt uneasy. Then I could swear I saw a shadow moving through the trees, but just chalked it up to possible head trauma. The truck had stopped and was idling on the side of the road as the driver ran towards me.
"Hey, you okay?"
He shouted. "Yeah, I'm okay. Just a little shaken up," I replied. When the truck driver was just about over to me, and the remains of my car, the shadow I had thought was a hallucination, proved to be very real as it leapt from the tree line and landed on the hood of my car. The truck driver stopped in his tracks, a look of horror overtaking his face.
"Oh my God,"
the truck driver muttered before turning and running back to his truck. The shadow creature glared at me with fiery red eyes and let out a low, guttural growl. At that moment, I did the only thing I could think of doing. I ran like hell. I took off into the woods, hoping to lose the creature among the trees. I was too afraid to look back, but I could hear it giving chase and gaining ground. I just kept running. I thought if I could find a spot to hide, I could call for help. But then I realized my phone was back at my car. I was on my own. I ran, without direction or purpose, other than to flee the beast on my ass for what felt like hours. But then, I saw flashing lights in the distance. Finally, a glimmer of hope. It must be the cops responding to my accident. If I could just make it back there, I'd have a chance. I gave it everything I had and ran as fast as my feet could carry me towards those lights. All the while, I could hear the creature behind me. I was managing to stay ahead, but it seemed to be getting closer and closer. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. Then, I felt a burst of relief as I emerged from the woods, back where I crashed. The red and blue lights from the police cars were blinding. I saw my car, and just beyond it, I saw Alice parking on the side of the road. "Alice!" I screamed. She got out of the car and ran towards me.
"Dennis!"
she yelled as she ran in my direction. Then, she ran right past me. I was confused as I turned and watched her continue to run to my car.
Oh my god. No.
She screamed. "I'm right here," I shouted. Then, I was horrified to see the police grab her and hold her back as paramedics pulled my body from the wreckage. I was looking at myself. I was dead. A few feet away, the truck driver is giving his statement to one of the officers.
So, what happened?
I was driving my usual route, and when I came around the bend, that car was on the wrong side of the road. I blew my horn and tried to stop, but he went off the road. I stopped and ran over to help, but when I saw his body in the car, I ran back to my truck and called you guys.
That pretty much catches you up on things. Now, I don't know what's gonna happen next, or what that creature chasing me is, but I do know one thing. I need to run.
I hope you've enjoyed your journey into the nightmare realm. Congratulations. You've returned to the safety of the real world. Haven't you?